The studious members of your family deserve the best student laptops, but choosing one isn't exactly easy. Especially the best college laptops need to meet more requirements than portables for your average user, while keeping the price affordable for college students. We're here to help you find exactly that, one that balances portability, durability, battery life, and performance with an affordable price. With the back-to-school season coming soon, now's a great time to take your pick. We will list all the links in the description and feel free to take advantage of Amazon Prime to receive discounts on these laptops in addition to other Amazon Prime benefits. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. The Acer ChromeBook Spin 311 is more than just a great little Chromebook. Showcasing impressive levels of versatility, as well as satisfying interaction and usability, it's among the best Chromebooks 2021 has to offer, even if it originally came out in 2020. Sleek and subtle in its design while sticking to unobtrusive black, the Acer ChromeBook Spin 311 might just be the Chromebook you'd like on you whether you're going to a work meeting or attending a college course. The diamond-shaped pattern detailing on the back of the screen is a nice touch too. Embedded into the black chassis, the keyboard and touchpad are as easy as ever to use on a Chromebook. Satisfying and punchy, with pleasing clicks and actuation, even typing and other menial tasks is satisfying. However, the keyboard, despite being the same size as on other Acer Chromebooks, does feel a bit small due to its place in a smaller design. We did get used to this more cramped design in time, but it did take us a little while. The screen is pretty good, though a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it is a clear and easy-to-use touchscreen and tough, being well protected by the Gorilla Glass, but on the other it is a bit too small and also a bit too dim. It's also surrounded by very thick bezels, which feels like a lot of wasted space. The design may have required the large bezels in order to incorporate the toughened glass touchscreen and overall robust design, but it feels like a bit too much potential screen real estate has been lost. Overall, the Acer ChromeBook Spin 311's design might make it feel a bit small for some users. A laptop replacement this is not, but if you want something inexpensive that is going to survive the occasional bash and knock, then this Chromebook is definitely one to consider. Despite having a modest component set under the hood, the Acer ChromeBook Spin 311 always handles whatever is thrown at it. Having far too many Chrome tabs open, running and listening to YouTube or Spotify and messaging on apps all at the same time never reveals any stuttering or trouble that the AMD-based hardware, supported by 4 GB of RAM, can't cope with. Underrated and understated in performance, it's a consistent little workhorse of a Chromebook. As a result, all in, the Acer ChromeBook Spin 311 is a great machine. It offers good value, it's very fun and versatile, and you can do anything on it that you can other, more powerful Chromebooks. If you like the size and want a reliable Chromebook with a touchscreen, this is it. The Surface Go 2 is Microsoft's new affordable Windows 10 tablet. While the company's Surface lineup of devices are usually high-end and expensive showcases for Windows 10, the original Surface Go showed that Microsoft could turn its hand at affordable devices as well, and that's a legacy the Surface Go 2 continues. At $399, the entry-level model of the Surface Go 2 is aimed at people who like the look of the Surface Pro 7, but couldn't afford or justify its high asking price. This is the kind of price point that pitches it against budget laptops and Chromebooks. It's certainly an attractive price, but there are a few caveats. First, this configuration only comes with 4 GB RAM, 64 GB storage, and an Intel Pentium Gold 4425Y dual-core processor. That's pretty underpowered, and that 64 GB of storage will feel incredibly tight after you've installed a few apps. You can get Surface Go 2 configurations with a bit more powerful spec, such as 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB storage, which certainly helps, but no Surface Go 2 configuration is ever going to break any records when it comes to performance. Also, once you start upping the specifications, the Surface Go 2 starts to become more expensive, and thus less competitive for people looking for a bargain. The other thing to note is that while you might see photos of the Surface Go 2 with the type cover, which not only protects the screen, but includes a keyboard and touchpad for turning the Surface Go 2 into a laptop-like device, these are not included with the tablet. Instead, you need to buy them separately, and that again adds to the overall cost of the product. When it comes to design though, we can't fault the Surface Go 2 really. Considering the price, it's got a solid and attractive design, and it's thin and light enough to easily carry around with you and use with one hand. There's not a huge amount of ports, but the selection is decent enough, with a USB-C port that can also charge the unit. It also has a proprietary charging port as well. As for performance, the Surface Go 2 was never going to blow us away, but with the version we had it was a competent day-to-day device. If you stick with Windows 10's mode, where you're limited to the lightweight apps from the Microsoft Store, you won't have much issues with it. However, by switching to Windows 10 Home, which is free to do, you can install more complex applications, and it's here where the Surface Go 2's limited hardware becomes apparent. For causal use, it's fine, but rule out gaming and any intensive tasks like video editing. Battery life, though, is brilliant, with it lasting over 8 hours on a single charge in our tests. This long battery life, along with its thin and light design and cheap price tag, makes it an ideal device for students who need something to carry around campus, or for anyone who wants an easily portable device that they can sling in a bag without worrying. The Acer Spin 5 is the latest refresh on the popular 2-in-1 laptop from the Taiwanese manufacturer, and it doesn't disappoint. Loaded with the latest Intel Ice Lake CPU, a 2256 by 1504 IPS display, and a 360-degree hinge that turns the laptop into something about as close as you're going to get to an actual physical notebook, the Spin 5 is a highly versatile device that is absolutely one of the best laptops for students. While not a gaming laptop by any means, the Intel Iris Plus graphics produces a vibrant color palette and performs respectably on our GPU benchmarks, and honestly just looks incredible. The Spin 5's touchscreen display with a 3:2 ratio is absolutely fantastic for note-taking with the stylus. Since the typical 16:9 2-in-1 laptop is nearly twice as long as it is wide, actually writing notes on one can easily feel cramped. The included stylus is small and can feel a bit flimsy, but since it's got its own charging and housing port on the side of the laptop, it's much less likely to get lost or broken than those shipped with other 2-in-1s. Arguably one of its most useful features, should the Acer Spin 5 stylus run out of power, just plug it back into the laptop for 15 or 20 seconds. The ultra-fast charging system will give the stylus about 90 minutes worth of charge. Few laptops are perfect, however, and there are some issues with the Spin 5. The audio is decent, thanks to the speakers that always face forward with the display, but the sound isn't fantastic. This is somewhat par for the course when it comes to laptop speakers, but the Spin is definitely in line with the rest as far as sound goes. Another issue that popped up is some of the unfortunate bloatware packed in with the Spin 5. Bloatware is unavoidable, especially for mid-tier and budget devices, so it's not the kind of thing that's going to especially bother us normally. The Spin 5, unfortunately, includes Acer-branded software that launches pop-up ads on your desktop. If you're looking for a great, portable hybrid laptop for work or school though, you should definitely consider taking Acer's latest 2-in-1 for a spin. It's a perfect note-taking laptop. The HP Envy X360 15 sits right in the sweet spot between the lower-end HP Pavilion X360 and the more premium HP Spectre X360 2-in-1 laptops in price, performance and specs, but it isn't some undercard contender. The HP Envy X360 15 is one of the best 2-in-1 laptops of the year, even if it isn't the best choice for everybody. The HP Envy X360 15 is well built, but there's nothing especially striking about the design. It is an HP laptop, after all, but it looks decent enough. The touchscreen display, on the other hand, is fantastic, even if it isn't a fancy 4K OLED. With up to 400 nits of brightness, the HP Envy X360 15 looks great inside and outdoors sitting at a coffee shop or, we imagine, on a work site. Using the Envy X360 15 in tablet mode isn't the most natural feeling experience you can get with a 2-in-1. You can flip the screen on some hybrid laptops and feel like you're holding an iPad running Windows 10, but the HP Envy X360 15 is not that kind of laptop. It will never really let you forget what it is, and though Windows 10 tablet mode itself ran just fine, the laptop's weight and noticeable bulk when being used as a tablet might put some people off. The Radeon GPU-equipped Envy X360 15 outperforms its rivals running Intel Iris, and in some cases by a substantial margin. Where things were closer, the Envy X360 15 still came out on top, and while its battery life isn't the absolute best we've seen recently, it's definitely high up on the leaderboard if not on the actual podium. So, the HP Envy X360 15 is already one of the best HP laptops we've seen this year, but when you factor in the incredible price-to-performance ratio, you've got one of the best values for a two-in-one laptop going. The MacBook Air M1 has given Apple's slimmest laptop line a giant leap forward. With the manufacturer's highly acclaimed Apple M1 processor, the ARM-based chip that's replaced the Intel CPUs of prior models, under the hood, and the macOS 11 Big Sur preloaded, it has become among the most powerful thin and light laptops. Thanks to this new chip, the MacBook Air M1 not only gets additional performance boosts, but also better power efficiency and longer battery life. This new Air, therefore, offers upgraded internals, particularly that M1 chip, without any additional cost. If you weren't swayed by the Intel-based model, then maybe this one will change your mind. Considering the price points of premium Windows 10 competitors like the HP Spectre X360 and Dell XPS 13, both of which are pricier, the Air's price tag looks even more competitive. Price-wise, then, we think Apple has nailed it. Of course, this certainly isn't a cheap laptop, but nor does it feel overpriced, especially compared to its similarly spec'd rivals, something that Apple has been accused of in the past. Apple has also been accused of caring more about aesthetics of its products than the actual features and functions, but with the MacBook Air M1, we actually think the opposite is true. This is because while the new MacBook Air has some huge changes on the inside, most noticeably the new M1 chip, but on the outside, nothing has really changed. For people who love the look of the MacBook Air, this may be good news, but we feel it's a bit of a missed opportunity. The fact is, HP and Dell have now overtaken Apple when it comes to designing thin, light and gorgeous laptops, a fact that would have seemed unthinkable a few years ago. When it comes to performance, however, we have no qualms. The M1 has proved to be a complete beast that puts Intel to shame in many respects. Battery life also seems to be fantastic, and the fanless design is nice, as it means the laptop runs silently. We do have our concerns about how it manages heat, however. In the end, we'd have liked Apple to have been a bit more ambitious with the design of the MacBook Air M1, a bold reinvention of the laptop to match the internal hardware and software overhauls would have made this an even more exciting device. Here are our top 5 best laptops for students. I hope you enjoy this video. Feel free to subscribe and like this video if you do, to help the channel provide you with the best possible content. All the links of the laptops are in description if we helped you to make your choice. See you soon.